Welcome, everyone, to another exciting edition of Coach Ben's Authors and Coaches United. Today's guest is coach and author Risa August. Let's jump right into this special interview. What inspired you to write The Road Unpaved?
Writing a book has been on my bucket list for over 20 years. I would come up with ideas that I felt were great ideas, but each time I'd sit down to write, the ideas would fall flat on paper, and I'd quickly become uninspired and extremely critical of what I'd written, and I would just become deflated and discouraged. I also quickly realized how putting ideas on paper and writing a book is actually no easy task. Fast forward almost 20 years, when I had a complete life upheaval, my life would never be the same. And that's when I realized this upheaval would be the story I shared with the world and the story I wanted to be heard.
What is The Road Unpaved about?
The Road Unpaved is about my story, and I'm going to tell it in third person, but it's an unaware girl going through her perfect life, suddenly diagnosed with a tumor at the base of her brain and a rare destructive disease. At the same time, facing the dissolution of her 18-year marriage and questioning her identity. After doctors, friends, and family continue telling her all the things she should, shouldn't, and can't do anymore, she realizes that she gets to choose how she moves forward in life and begins living life on her terms. So, following brain surgery and radiation treatments, she makes the extraordinary decision to ride her bike 1,845 miles from Canada to Mexico down the Pacific coast. The road becomes a metaphor for life with its twists, turns, potholes, climbs, coasting, and detours. And her initial intentions for the trip are not at all what the trip turns out to be. The answers Risa is seeking on her soul-healing journey are not at all the wisdom she gains. You don't have to be a cyclist to like this story. It's about the ups and downs of life, hardship, healing, growth, and humor. The ability to shift perspective and not limit yourself.
Many readers seem to really like the unique structure of your book. Can you describe it?
The one compliment and review I hear the most often is, "I couldn't put your book down." And also, "I love how you wrote it." And what people are talking about is the way I set up the story format. I intentionally wrote short chapters, which makes the book really easy to pick up. Because as a reader, you know you're not going to have to be committed for too long if you don't want to be. Also, my book begins in present day, but every other chapter flashes back to relevant parts of my past. This keeps the readers engaged. For example, I've heard readers say things like, "Well, I kept having to read another chapter because I wanted to know what happened next from the previous present day chapter or past chapter before that." So I like to call it a really fast and easy and fun read.
What do you love most about your story, The Road Unpaved?
Oh my gosh, I absolutely love the characters in my story. One being my brain tumor named Bubba, with whom I have dialogue with throughout the story. My characters are really vibrant, and they're true depictions of how I experienced those people along my journey. And perhaps those characters in some way depict different parts of my personality as well. I don't know. I put a question mark there because I'm like, I don't know, maybe. And I also love that my book is a true rendition of how I experience myself and the world around me, which is super fun and real and authentic. And then one thing I really love about me and how I experience my world is that I'm able to find humor in some of my dark moments.
Where can listeners find your book and learn more about you?
Well, you can find a big glimpse into my world at risaaugust.com. You can learn all about my book and my journey and all the things I'm diving into to live my life at full speed. All out, I should say.